First time I've watched it without bawling my eyes out. Spending the day in my hometown talking about events to camera was emotional. A cross between being on a psychoanalyst couch and a premature obituary. It was quite intense and dark. It was actually quite good fun, but most of the funny bits are obviously on the cutting room floor. So I thought I'd lighten the mood by telling a joke. Don't stop me if you've heard it. It involves a QS, a structural engineer, and an architect. And they have site meetings every month, and the architect says, let's band together and do the lottery. So they do. After a few months, they win the lottery. The three of them have got this consortium, and they won 30 million quid, and the QS goes away with his laptop, puts it in a spreadsheet, works out after a few minutes that it's 10 million quid each. So QS does the structural engineer and say, well, what are you going to do with your 10 million quid? He said, what doing the structural engineer? So I like sailing. I'm going to buy one of those huge 6-foot yachts, sail around the world, Caribbean, Spain, Monaco, everywhere, and then to go around the world, spend my money retiring. The architect said to the QS, what are you going to do? They said, well, I always wanted to buy an Airstream caravan, mobile home, start in New York, go to Chicago, go through the Midwest, West Coast, down to South America. That's what I'm going to do. It's just the architect, this was your idea, that, what are you going to do with your 10 million quid? The architect said, well, I've always loved architecture. I love architecture. It's my life. I can't think of anything else I want to do. I think I'll just be an architect until the money runs out. Like most great jokes, there's a lot of truth in it. And the thing I love most about our profession is the passion we all have. But it's usually for our own particular view of it. We have conservationists, technologists, managers, incredible creatives, historians, academics, researchers, and specialists in all sectors. That's a blessing. But it's also a curse if we fail to acknowledge each other's viewpoints. I see it as my role to act for every architect and promote all of our strengths. I'm well aware, as Jack says, that the 2 years will fly by, and I've been quite specific about what I want to achieve. My 2-year plan has been adopted by board and my council, and the great thing is that some of those plans are already in place, and I look forward to working with Jack and Valerie and the RIBA team to ensure they are delivered. As the film said, the RIBA has been an inspiration to me. A RIBA book first got me interested in architecture. A RIBA exhibition that helped Andrew and I start out practice and put us on shortlists for competitions. It inspired us with events and talks and gave us opportunities. RIBA helped us promote ourselves overseas with support, credibility, and a legacy to tap into. And I want to ensure it does the same for this and future generations. I love 66 Portland Place, and it's ironic that it's closed for the entirety of my term. But it's an amazing once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, not just the building, but the website, the outreach, and the idea of a museum of architecture. And those three things are the House of Architecture program. My focus is on what kind of institute we will be when we return. Indeed, we need to start looking at what kind of institute we want to be in our 200th anniversary in 9 years' time. Thank you all for attending. It means a lot. There's several RIBA past presidents here tonight. Thank you for being here. You've all been successful in introducing change, and I've learnt a lot from each of you. And I'd also like to thank everyone who's inspired me, my parents, my family, my teachers. It's not easy being an architect. My colleagues at Western Williamson and previously at Michael Hopkins, particularly people like Ian Sherratt and Mark Sutcliffe. There's another great person at Michael Hopkins, 10 years younger than me, and I'd like to outline the arc of his career. His name is Graham Saunders. Everybody loved him. Michael sponsored him to do his part 2 at the AA. After a term at the AA, Graham came back into the office and Michael said, what are you working on? What's your project? He said, I'm inventing a fucking machine. So this is the AA. He said, what do you mean flocky machine? They've not yet flocked wallpaper. That you can flop rooms with it. You can flop your car with it. You can flock a house with it. You can unpeg you to the architecture. You're inventing a floppy. But the great thing about architectural education everywhere is it teaches you to problem solve. It teaches you to think. Graham went on to work at the Red Cross, a disaster relief, after paying back Michael gigs the money that he put working back at Michael's office. He had a fantastic career, and he came back with Peter Oborne when Peter was vice president to help with the international committee in disaster relief. To me, Graham epitomizes the profession and those unsung heroes that do amazing work. The other thing he did, when I left to Michael Hopkins, Patty said to him, we know Chris likes cricket. What else does he like? What can we buy him for his leaving present? He convinced her somehow that I collected garden gnomes. I think Morgan Snell and Bill Taylor were in on it. But anyway, she presented me with this garden gnome. This is in Khan's restaurant in Westmoor Park. So somebody woke up the next morning with us to find the discarded gone. I'd just like to end by saying, if I can do one thing, it would be inspire others to put themselves forward. It is a great honour. And in this crazy world, someone has to stand up for architecture, for our built environment, and our contribution to wider environment struggles. And I think it should be RIBA. Thank you.